Welcome to the George FTTV YouTube channel. Today we have a special guest and a bit of a different video this week, so should be good. But we'll go through some of the learnings from SuperCoach 2025 because every year we want to get better for next year, so it should be good. And this year, well, today we have Steve from SDS SuperCoach. So check out his YouTube channel. Been watching his stuff. His throwdowns, a bit of a different format, some of his content. So check him out. Really good stuff. But Steve, welcome to the channel, and we'll get stuck straight into it. First off, how's your SuperCoach season going this year? And this week's been a bit of a hard one for a lot of us. I think we're all going down to between 0 and 2 trades this week, so it's going to be a little bit of a tough one on the run home. But how's your season going? And also, what are your plans for trades this week?
Thanks, George, for letting me jump on the channel. It's an absolute pleasure, that's for sure. How do I feel like my season's going? I feel like I've been happy with it just because I think I've stuck to mostly what I've wanted to do heading into the season. And I think that's turned out to be, like most of what I've done, to be the right decision. It's just, there's just been some bad luck over the past 4 or 5 days where that's just totally cooked my season. So it's sort of one of those things where you don't really want to just get down in the dumps about it. It is a bit frustrating, but I think I've been really happy with how I've approached the season. I've done what I've said I wanted to do heading into the season. Just a few little tweaks I'd like to do for next year. So I've enjoyed this season, and it's just a bit unfortunate that because I'm currently a Nick Martin, Horn Francis, Cherry, and Rosie owner. It's amazing how 1 week can just totally kill your season league and rank wise. So hopefully we can recover and stay inside the top 1%. That's usually the goal every year. And we'll see how it all plans out.
So you brought in Cherry this week, and it couldn't have gone any worse. Did you use 1 or 2 trades to get him this week?
2.
Yeah.
So 5 down to 3, and I'll tell you what I could do. I'd do so much for that extra trade, I tell you. So
Grundy,
I don't really regret it. It's just one of those frustrating situations that can just happen. I think, I would make that decision again if I had the choice. I would just bank on the fact that wouldn't ever happen again.
Yeah, no, I feel for you because it does a lot of damage in the back half of the year. But as long as you got a few trades up your sleeve at least, probably 3's more than most, even though you got 3 injuries. Probably holding Sherry there, but that's rough. So what are your plans for trades this week? Assuming Horn Francis and Martin pretty much have to go. Do you know what you're doing with those 2?
Yeah, it's a bit of a unique situation that haven't exactly figured out the right answer on how to approach it just yet. So I've got a day off work tomorrow, so I'll get the thinking music on there. There's been multiple avenues I've thought about. If I had the choice this week, it would be Luke Jackson and Matt Kennedy in this week, but I'm 8K short. So it's of course I am. But with high break evens, they're probably my 2 favorite options I'd like to get to. I'd probably like to see Riley Garcia not in the side this week to have full confidence in Kennedy getting that role back. I think with Luke Jackson, it's not the perfect role, but it's one last crack at having a good forward in your side. So with 2 pretty high break evens, it's sort of me tossing up whether I just absolutely tank this week and identify them next week, or do you just have to keep the points flowing and, you have to grab maybe Luke Jackson and a guy under 420K, or you grab Matt Kennedy and maybe a Sam Darcy. So that's sort of what I'm tossing up. Hard to pick which one's the right play. So I'll be holding Cherry. I suspect Rosie will be out this week. He's still a test, but he'll be a hold for sure. And I think if I do hold, I think I'll only have 21 players playing. So think I'm leaning towards making a move. If Riley Garcia's dropped, I'll probably just grab Matt Kennedy, and I'll probably just end up going Brian Myers or a Sam Darcy type.
Yeah. Kennedy's a strange one. It's been a very consistent role all year, and then the 1 week that people start really needing him is the week where you probably want another look. I think he'll be fine because you don't throw away 16, 17, 18 good games for one bad one. So yeah, interesting. Lots of good options there. I'll be looking at probably a Brian Myers. I think a bit of a pod.
Yeah, I
Low
like it.
ownership play. I don't love it because didn't think once that I'd ever have Myers in my team ever. But here we are. the form's there, and you just kind of hope it holds on. But yeah, you've copped it worse than most. So it kind of sucks that you might lose a few hundreds in the ranks for where you deserve to be. But like, what do you do? It's SuperCoach, I suppose, and
Yep, that's SuperCoach heritage. Not much you
it'll
can do.
it'll
You just
come back
bank
around.
on that not happening down the line for future seasons.
Yep. Won't happen every year, so
No.
see how you go. Now we'll get into some learnings and stuff. So I did a podcast a few weeks ago with Eno where we just reflected on our trades, and I really enjoyed it. It was a different sort of format where we just sort of reflect what went right, what went wrong, and a sort of approach to the game. So yeah, that's the goal here, just to reflect on, and especially like I probably look a bit too much at my own team without looking at others. So I'm sort of interested to know, you had a bit of a different mindset or approach to attack the year. So I'm quite interested to see, and you've in top 1%. So it's worked. So I'm interested to know how that's sort of gone. So at the start of the season, or pre-season, what was your approach to sort of picking a starting team? And do you think you'll take the same approach next year? Like any rules?
Yeah, I think so. In 2024, I had a really poor season. Went away from a lot of the stuff that works well in SuperCoach, and yeah, I just sort of lost faith too quickly, and then just my whole season went down the toilet when I still had a little bit more faith in like round 10, but just completely threw it away. So I definitely had to go back to the drawing board and just think what the way is. And that's like looking at previous interviews from winners, that sort of thing. The main thing, every time I read an article from the winner of SuperCoach, the main thing that sticks out every time is value. And that's sort of the approach I had to go for, and I wanted to go for. So Sheezel was the only player over 600K that I paid for in my starting team. And I mean, the Sheezel pick hasn't really turned out to be that good. So that was a bit of a FOMO pick. I was sort of tossing and turning whether to go with it or not. I think I'd probably ideal because I think my backup was Tom Stewart. And yeah, that just wouldn't have ended well at all. So I certainly wanted to look at a more value approach for my starting team and just having less rookies on field to start the season. And I think it hurts you more during best 18, but it can really benefit you out of best 22. So, and there's going to be more best 22 than best 18 rounds. So that's what I wanted to do. And I think I approached that pretty well. Like I started Brayshaw, started Rosie, got a bit lucky with him getting defensive DPP because we sort of saw that move out of nowhere. Got lucky again with like Petrarca getting forward status when I started him as well. So yeah, just certainly looked at a more value-based approach. And like starting Flynn R2, I think you did the same as well, George, didn't you?
Yeah, I was tossing up. I had Sherry or Flynn, and landed on TDK Flynn rather than Sherry. And yeah, if I had my time again, any value ruck would be going in flex.
Yeah, for sure.
Very
I
clear.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, unless the job security is like very clear, like I don't know if you remember 6-7 years ago, Sanderlands was 300K. He was obviously the number one ruck. Unless it's something like that, I won't be doing that again. They can go on flex.
But I think with opening round, as much as all of us just don't like it, and I'm not sure if it's going anytime soon, it is a bit of a layer of protection when we saw the worst came to worst with Matt Flynn, where in best 18, it can be saved, him being at R2 for the time being. So so I sort of saw that heading into the season. If worst came to worst, Flynn gets dropped really early into the round, into the season, then we can have best 18 sort of cover that. And then that can at least give us a few weeks of sort of waiting on, all right, is he going to get back into the side? And he did eventually make his money. Or is it going to get to a point where round 5, we're back to best 22? Okay, he's still not in the team. We got to adjust. So I think I would do that again. It's just all about if stuff can go your way. Flynn makes his money early instead of later. You could then grab Cherry at 550, and you can grab Cherry at 550 if Flynn made his money earlier, because the Flynn price drop did come, but we're all so worried about getting Matt Flynn at the flex spot when you probably had 2 rucks locked up already. So, it's just one of those things where the timing, a lot of things in SuperCoach as well comes to timing, and we can't predict it at all, really. But if most of situations fall in your favor, then it can really benefit you.
Yep. So I didn't mean to cut you off for a sec there, but I was going to say, so opening round scrapped next year, and we don't have that sort of safety net. Would you go there again then?
No.
Yep. Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
I think that's a lesson for me as well. Fingers crossed new administrations come in, and they scrap opening round, but we'll see. But yeah, that was a painful one because I felt the need I needed to fix that. I wanted to fix that immediately. I could have let Flynn stay there for 5 rounds, but I ended up getting Sherry for 650, and he had a poor start, bit of an injury as well. So that went very pear-shaped because I had to just pull funds out of plays I didn't want to trade. So that was a bit of a nightmare. And the things I do to have those 2 trades back, that's the difference between having Brody Grundy playing a bunch of second rucks for the rest of the year. So, it's a hard one because the value is so good and the upside is so great. But sometimes I think I'm kind of happy to pay fair price more often than not than just target, and maybe target, because we see, like, I don't know what you think, but I don't mind paying fair price, even slightly overs in the starting team, because we know as the magic number comes down, we're going to get everyone else cheaper. Not everyone, but like 90% of the mids are going to be cheaper. Like pretty much like this whole year was, did you get this guy at low 500s before he went on a run? Like you can reel off 10 names 100%. Of these sort of plays. So I think for me, I'm going to be okay paying. Yeah, I'll pay 580 for a few defenders, whether that's a Nass and a Jordan Clark. Yes, I think the tags might come, so we'll see what else is available. But if I don't like what else is available, I'm quite happy to pay higher 500s for a 5, 6, 7 players. We'll see what the rookies look like if this is a realistic structure, and just like have one less headache everywhere potentially. And then as the season starts, then we like, I'm not paying 600 during the season for Sarong again. That was a big stuff up. So that's sort of the route I'll go. Pay a fair price early and then take the value as it comes throughout the season. Do you think you'll pay 600K for any players in the starting team next year?
Oh, yeah. 600K isn't, in my eyes, 600K wouldn't be a cutoff for me. I think it's just really how I see it as value. Like, say, for example, Tristan Cherry gets injured in the last 3 rounds, and that really plummets his average. Like, I'd pay 610K for Tristan Cherry next year, because I would see that as value for what he can do. So I'm not afraid to be spending 600 plus K. I think I just want to be identifying guys that I think can outdo their price tag, and I don't mind going a few guys that I think can probably average about where I'm paying for. It's just trying to just really lower in on the research. Like, I think Brayshaw was a bit of a different pick compared to my philosophy with my starting team. That was purely based on fixture. And originally, before Hayden Young got injured, I was going to start Hayden Young over Andy Brayshaw, and Hayden Young's going to be another guy I look at next year because I really do think there's massive potential there for what he can do. So yeah, I think fixtures as well in starting teams are going to become more relevant each year, especially when it comes to tags. We're seeing more teams doing tags and different stuff each week. So just being able to do the research, identify the right guy at the right time as well. And that's been a thing during upgrade season.
Yeah, it's felt like there's been players that we could quite easily time. Plenty of options have come to us this year. But yeah, and Andy also last year, I think his post buy was about 117. He's priced at 109. So you could see the upside with the, it's fully fit, full preseason plus good fixture. Same with Rosie. He had like a piss fixture first few as well. And it was good. We got a lot of points on the board there with those starting picks. So definitely, we'll look at those sort of plays next year. Now, another one for early this year. Do you remember if you made any reactionary trades early on? And if so, what were they?
Yeah, I do. That was certainly from the Levi. So I'm not saying I traded out Levi Ashcroft early or anything, but I'm sure we remember back heading into round one, we heard Levi Ashcroft was going to be sub, and I just didn't. And then there was a late out for Brisbane, and Levi Ashcroft was no longer the sub, and I don't know why I didn't go back into the pick. I just wanted to ride through Finn O'Sullivan. So then that meant, well, I want to get Levi Ashcroft in heading into round two, and it's just some of the overreaction of. So I traded out Sam Powell-Pepper round one. That's not ideal, but I think it's just overreacting to one bad game, and it can be hard to identify to go early on getting rid of a rookie too early. So that was certainly a mistake. Trading Sam Powell-Pepper after round one. So I think we learned this year as well that if we can just try as best as we can to hold faith in the rookies, and it is hard if you're going for if your main goal's cash generation to start the season, which it was for me. So it just sort of felt like early points in the season, I was just, all right, Sam Powell-Pepper had one bad start, and then this guy's absolutely on fire. Got to jump into that. So, and then that can hurt later down the line where you're actually not gaining much cash generation differential. You're just losing trades, but further down the line for upgrades, injury trades, post-buy. So I think being as patient as you can at the start of the season. And I made some overreactions with trades, trading out Powell-Pepper. I think Hewitt as well, when he got injured in round 4 with an ankle and just moved off. I thought Hewitt's injury history wasn't exactly going to give me any confidence that he's going to come back from it anytime soon. And he obviously just has looked like an unbelievable player this season, which we hoped he would as a rookie. So, there were some poor decisions with trades early. It's just all about how just making sure that you keep that in note for next year on what you can do better in that situation.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought Hewitt and Powell-Pepper up because they were brilliant rookies. I ended up not picking Powell-Pepper the last second because I dropped money because I didn't start Bailey Smith like an idiot. So I banked money for round 1 going from, ironically, Powell-Pepper to Elijah Hewitt. But this year, I remember vividly 2 or 3 years ago, James Jordan was a rookie for us. And this was a year, it might have been 2022 or 2021, where cash gen was not that good. But James Jordan got to 400K. I sold him at 200K. And ever since then, my mindset with rookies was trading a rookie can really do so much damage. Like trading at Pal Pepper is like, I almost say disaster, because he made 220K. So it's tough. There were a lot of good starting rookies, fortunately, that we had, but he was one you definitely wanted. Yeah, I missed out as well. So yeah, the mindset was I will not trade capable rookies, and I was stubborn. I held Sardis, I held Lindsay, I held Nevitt, I held Elijah Hewer, I held all of them because I saw whether it was talent level, whether it was junior numbers, VFL numbers. In Sam Powell Pepper's case, AFL did the 70s for years. So even though I like 2 or 3 of them ended up being busts, I knew that they were potentially capable. Never got a bit injured. Sardis sort of lost his spot and didn't play that well anyway, like really low tog. So that one didn't work out. But I don't regret holding the dud rookies. It also meant I held some good rookies too. So certainly, yeah, in the moment it's hard because we're working on small bit of data and there's a lot of things are happening. Players around them might be threatening their spot and whatnot. And yeah, Hewitt gets injured. He's been injured for 2 years. Like, is this guy going to play? But a little bit of patience, like a stubborn patience, can work sometimes, but it can work the other way with like a Sardis and a Nevitt. So yeah, that mindset of if I trade this guy who's capable, or I think's capable, it's going to hurt me.
Yep.
So that's something I learned from previous years, and I took into this year, and it's the reason why I got to 23 premiums. Although I did have to finish with a Cordwell and a McKercher. Without those guys, I'd probably be on 0 trades. But it's been like one of those years. So that's definitely a massive lesson, and yeah, it's you having to go through trading Hewitt and Power Pepper. Yeah, will definitely. You'll be so much better set up for next year, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And it is like also hard to just make sure you're picking the right one as well, as you said, with very little data. So it's probably good in my head that I can identify that Powell Pepper and Hewitt, were picks, but just lack of patience sort of forced my hand, has forced some people's hands there. So, I mean, you've had an absolutely unbelievable season yourself. So, I mean, it's it's a very interesting game where there's so many highs, so many lows, and you just gotta hope things can happen for you in certain situations.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my season probably overperformed a bit. I got a Josh Dacos 200. I didn't really deserve that, but like it's been I knew that my team, I didn't think it was that good, but I held a few extra trades and didn't trade much during the buys. And just thought like I'll play for late game here because I know back end of the year people aren't going to get to, I was patient with rookies. I did sell, I think Max I sold a little bit early. His forms come good late anyway, but everyone else pretty much got close to the max, got as much cash, and set myself up for 23 premiums. Not the best, no Gorn, no like Noah Anderson's been good, a few like that. But yeah, I knew play for late game and see where the rank takes us post buy, and I think my team's probably overperformed post buy, and we'll see what happens. I don't have Sinclair; he should be killing me. He's been rubbish for like 5 weeks now, so stuff like that. But sort of identifying, okay, do I need to play for late game here, or can I keep pushing for points? So I sort of played for late game, and rank wasn't that good during the buys, but post buy you can gain a lot. But we'll see what happens post buy in the last 6 weeks rather. That was a good chat. Learned a lot there. Another one for the starting team. And this is sort of year dependent. Do you think you would lean more to guns and rookies, or not all mid prices, but say like run 4 or 5 mid prices in the team? Like, which do you prefer? Because like rookies have more money making potential, and then like guns are proven players at probably keepers as well. Do you prefer more guns and rookies, a more keeper approach, or less keeper approach and more mid prices? What do you think?
It depends on what is happening with the fixture, first of all, for next year. Is it going to be a similar style of fixture as this year? We're going to have opening round again, a few teams with the bye early. So I'll probably take that into consideration first. And then, look, I'm still pretty happy to play the mid-priced play where you might not have as many rookies, but if you can hit on most of those mid-prices, that's a shortcut for being able to have a strong season. So I'm pretty happy to go the mid-price route. And we're going to have, I think, once again, we're going to have similar to this year. I think we're going to have a really nice crop of mid-prices to have a look at for this season. So I think we're going to have a similar conversation again. I know there's still this season to go, but I think there's going to be a lot of very interesting 400 to 500k midfielders. I think got Hayden Young. I think Will Day will be up there again. Darcy Parish, he's going to be super cheap. So I think, I think I like the mid-price approach. And if you'll have less rookies than Guns and Rookies style, but if all those rookies you're not going to nail all your rookies, but if most of them you hit on, then that can still put you in good stead while you're still saving money off potential keepers with going mid prices. And if, as I said, if most of them can pay off, that really does help you for being able to complete a side quicker than others and getting rookies off field.
Yeah. Now, did you take? So these are listed off a few cheaper mid prices here. Did you take a Ryan Marich, Bailey Humphrey, or a Ned Long this year?
Yeah, good question. If I didn't grab Ned Long.
Why didn't you grab Ned Long?
I didn't grab Ned Long. No.
How come though? Did you consider him much or?
Oh yeah. I think at the time I think I was prioritizing Bailey Humphrey and Ryan Marich. I think there was another reason why, but I forgot. But yeah, I think I saw it as an awkward time of year. I think we're in upgrade season, and I was just prioritizing getting upgrades done. Where I think Marich and Humphrey were a couple of weeks beforehand, and as options, and that was probably just before upgrade season, to where I found it a bit easier to get to them than I did Ned Long. I think that was also probably because I think that week I was grabbing Nick Dacos at 580k, which hasn't been amazing for paying for that. But so I just prioritized that instead. I wanted to go both Humphrey and Marich. I both saw them as really nice options. I ended up going with Marich, so that was probably pretty season defining to some extent, picking one over the other. I think I saw Marich's role as just more safe for SuperCoach scoring. Bailey Humphrey, better player, maybe a little bit more erratic role for SuperCoach scoring. So, but I didn't see a problem with any of them. I couldn't debate you to go this player over this player between those two. So, I think that was just pretty unlucky for people that chose Humphrey over Marich, because I don't think it deserved that big of a differential between the picks. I think both deserve to be good picks. So, I ended up going with Marich, and Humphrey I was pretty lucky with not turning out the way it could have.
Yep. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I went Marich. For some reason, I play fantasy as well, and pretty much all the good fantasy players, they all went Ned Long, and it is a different sort of different format, but he wasn't that popular in SuperCoach, and I regret not taking him because I think he would have made, when people after the sub game, then he got to about 280k, and he pushed for 500k after that. I should have recognized how good the role was, and that's probably the main thing I'm going to look for next year, mid prices. Like I went an SDK, a 40% Ruckman at the time with no job security or no role security. Plus I went an underdone Philippou. So those two trades, they burnt pretty bad. They paid, one of them lost money, and one of them was boosted in, boosted out. So they hurt pretty bad. But yeah, looking at how good, I probably wouldn't go a Humphrey just because the talent is there, and he's actually averaging 85 on the season. So he's actually come good, but that's still, even as good as he's been, that's not something I'll go. I don't think I'll ever go there because I want like a high CBA role, even at 280k. But we
Yeah.
had a full-blown kick-out role. I think he was leading the kick-ins for the time he was playing defense for Marriage. So, like, yeah, easy roll down back. Plus, Ned Long was 60, 70% CBAs or something like that. And that's pretty rare. I did look into Ned Long's numbers last year, and they weren't that good with CBAs, but it just goes to show that players can actually develop and should have, we were seeing, like, he was dominating, like, scoring 130s and stuff. So maybe should have recognized I was thinking too much into previous numbers rather than what I was seeing in front of me. So if I had my time again and I see a player get 17 contested possessions with a midfield role, like a high CBA role, I'll definitely go there next year. So that was one that annoyed me, missing Ned Long, because that would have been a really nice one. Because at the time, I think Jane Short was like 420k. You could have banked 140k down to Ned Long and got more points. So I wish I did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the difficult decisions with Ned Long as well is because he was the sub so many times early in the season, where it was just hard to trust paying a little bit extra for, is he going to be staying in this midfield role? So, it was just one of those things where, 280k for that role. So, it does sting a bit, but yeah, there was some reserve things where I think there's still made sense for not jumping on. So yeah, but I totally get that. Ned Long's just absolutely exploded. I think it was. I think he wouldn't. I think it was probably a blessing in disguise for Hawthorn to delist Ned Long so he can really develop as a player, because he just wasn't going to quite fit into that Hawthorn midfield with Connor Nash playing that exact type of style of midfielder. So I'm very happy for Ned Long to see him fully blossom, because I thought he had a lot of talent. We just couldn't fit him into that midfield.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he played a game, might have played that game at Norwood a few years ago, I reckon.
Yeah, when we went.
I think so, yeah. Played more forward, though. But he's got his opportunity, playing all right. So, yeah, no, hopefully he has a good long career with the Pies.
For sure.
I've actually built my own. I've built a 2026 team, believe it or not, probably 2 weeks ago. So I've got a few mid prices here. So I'm gonna just quick yes or no.
Okay.
And I don't have Young. I'll consider. Parrish, I don't care for Parrish.
Oh.
Young is young enough, and he was actually durable for a few years there, but this year's been gone off the rails for durability. So these are the ones in my team at the moment. And I don't actually like this one. He'd probably come out, but so Miles Bergman, 480k. Would you look there in defense? Yes or no? One word answer.
Will he be defender eligible?
Yeah.
For 80k, I need to know if he's playing full time mid. I'd be happy to jump on though. I really like him.
The reason why I have him here, because I watched this year and Ken shifts him around, makes him play lockdown defense. We need the new coach Josh Carr to say, "No, that's done." Okay. Well, I don't know if he'll say that, but like if we get clear indication of mid, certainly look there.
Yeah, I think we'll see Ollie Wines shift a bit out of that midfield, and I think they need a midfielder like Bergman in there. So I like that pick.
Now, Colby McKerch is priced at 78 at the moment.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. This one's not in my team, but it's on my short list for flex. Kieran Briggs in the 400s.
Oh, I think there'll be a bit of a Ruck merry-go-round this offseason. So I think I've heard the Giants are pretty keen on Rowan Marshall. So I'll be interested to see how that pans out. But yeah, if Briggs is solo Ruck, yeah, I'd have a crack at that at flex.
This is a hard one. Sam Flanders in the forward line.
If he moves clubs, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Mateus Philippou, 260k.
Yes, for sure.
I've actually got another mid-pricer here, but it's not really mid-pricer. 240k for Kai Lohman.
I don't mind it. Yeah, I probably would. I know at his best he can get to near on 400k. Yeah, I'd be a fan.
Yeah. If it's dire enough, I think I'd go there. Otherwise, I want a better roll.
Yeah.
But that's just a few I had on my spreadsheet. I've probably missed a few there.
Well, there'd
But yeah,
be
it will be interesting.
like I'd rather pay. I think I'd rather pay 240 for Loman than I think Max King's going to be the talk of the town for that key forward spot.
Yeah.
He's there for the year. He'll be the talking point. I think I'd like to see St Kilda use him. Maybe the body doesn't hold up anymore. I'm a bit concerned about that knee, but can he play that high half, like that high, like Jeremy Cameron as a key forward? Can he push up the ground? I think that's where he's suited best. I don't know where his knee is sitting at the minute. It is a bit concerning what's going on there, but he would intrigue me if he pushes up the ground a bit more.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out his price. If he gets a 30% discount, it'll be 210k. Gets a 10% discount, it'll be 270k.
Okay.
It'd have to be 210 for me to even consider.
Yeah, I think he needs to. Yeah, I don't like. I definitely prefer Kai Lohman over King if there's not going to be that much of a price difference.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit like it'd have to be dire for me to go there, to be honest. I think I'd rather just a 123k rookie, but yeah, we'll see what we get. Any other mid prices that you can think of at the moment? Otherwise, we can move on.
Any other mid prices? I mean, I guess Nick Newman will be talked about a bit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You always identify the blokes that. I mean, we don't want to be identifying it, but players unfortunately going down with injury. He did the same knee injury to what I've done with my knee, which is the patella tendon, and it's your knee's never really the same after it. So I think he did the same thing as what Jago O'Meara did.
Okay.
It still wouldn't scare me away from the pick. There was talk that he was going to come back this year. I just thought, no, that's bullshit. So, it's a pretty bad injury. So we'll just have to see how he's going on with that. So Nick Newman's an interesting one. Any mid prices? I'll probably go back to the well of Will Day. There's.
It's just that foot, isn't it, for Will?
Yeah, I think the difference compared to when he did it a couple of years ago, he's actually had surgery on it.
Okay.
Where I think, what was it, 2024, his season was delayed from it. He did in pre-season. He didn't have surgery on it. So I think it should be okay now. And yeah, I always get tempted to have him in my side. I absolutely love him.
Averaging 101, I think 4 games means 20% discount on that. It'd be some in the 400s.
Okay.
One for next year.
Yeah, one to think about next year for sure.
He's got such a high ceiling. So, yeah, hopefully he gets it together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any others off the top of my head? I'm thinking, like, I know it's not a mid-pricer, but if LDU can be priced at 92, that does intrigue me.
Yep. It's probably cheap enough where you can go there.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't do 105 plus.
Oh, absolutely. He's got the talent. There's still a few question marks over George Wardlaw, unfortunately, with his concussions, the hamstrings. It's getting a little dicey for him. So hopefully George Wardlaw pans out. But yeah, Sheasel might be playing more forward. So I think there's scope for him to do well. I'm interested to see what happens in that Giants midfield a bit more down the line. There's Finn Callahan, there's Tom Green, there's that other missing piece, and I'm curious on who that could be. So I'm quite intrigued with the Giants midfield on how that's looking for next year.
Yeah, maybe they can figure something out in trade period. They've had, I think it's Ralston's been in there a bit lately. They've
Yeah.
put Bedford with high CBAs, but he's sort of more half forward now. They've got Kelly playing a bit of wing. Cogs, I think, is coming back, but he's older now. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Who gets the CBA bump next year? We can find someone with a consistent role there. What was your what do you think? What was your biggest win of the season? Sort of like your best move for the season, and what do you think your worst move of the season was? Start with what do you think your best move of the season was, or best trade in?
It comes down to two, but I think it's hard to go past trading in Max Gawn in round 5, and that was such a season defining move, because I was looking at Briggs that round as well, and along with Gawn, and yeah, just amazing what type of decisions can be interesting for your season. So yeah, but I tell you what, coming in like a steam train is trading in for Jordan Dawson in heading into the Carlton game at 498k. He's just been ultra consistent, and yeah, he certainly looks. As a Crow supporter, what do you see as the massive differential between Dawson last year and Dawson this year?
Well, I think Crouch out is actually helping, because there's 30 possessions pretty much gone to everyone else, and it's not Rankin getting him, it's not Berry getting him, it's not really Peatling. None of them are really getting much of the ball at the moment. So Dawson's getting a bit more of a line share there. I think the Crows are just better. Like last year, there was no Thilthorpe. I mean, how many contested marks does Thilthorpe take? Like a lot. Even Darcy Fogarty takes a few as well. So that forward mid connection, lots of points, winning more games, team's better. I personally wasn't sure he'd push one. I think you might have messaged me early in the year about him, and I think I said just under 110, something like that. He's actually doing better than that. I think he's doing about 112 at the moment. But yeah, he was a great pickup.
Not far off.
I think efficiency's been good the last few months. I think last year and earlier this year, he'd have like his DT. It was like D1 and DT, but you'd have like -30, -40 ratios. So yeah, that was a really good pickup at that price. So, yeah, players sort of work their way into the season as well. We saw like the Gold Coast boys. I think Rao was like mid 400s and Anderson was low 500s, and they're both pushing 600, if not there at the moment. So yeah, players can work their way into seasons. But yeah, timing those players that have bottomed out, I think
that's been the theme of the year. Just been able to grab players during upgrade season at the right time, and that's really shaped people's seasons.
Yeah, I definitely back to Gawn. I sort of glossed over Gawn. Like I thought maybe a bit older or whatever. I didn't really think hard enough about it. But I think putting priority, and it goes for the other players as well. We know Dawson's capable of 110 plus. Played through a bit of injury last year as well with his foot through the middle of the year. So was underpriced to start the year, and then further underpriced as he dropped in price. But yeah, when you see a guy that should be doing 110 plus, or in Gawn's case 120, 125 plus, and they get to priced at 120, and he's averaging potentially 120 plus, and priced at what's 550k priced at, I don't know, like say 105. You have to grab it. You can't gloss over that. So that was a big mistake from my part. So it's like similar to like Zach Butters this year when he was 560k, had that random game where he got tagged and scored 40. Like I said, like 560k for Butters. I don't care who goes out, or I don't care what happens or who else is available. Like he's number one priority. I have to get him. And yeah, he captained on 150 score this week, and he's been brilliant. So yeah, similar with Gawn, I can't let those sort of high ceiling players just through to the keeper. But yeah, need to put priority on those guys. What was your Sherry doesn't count here because he was bad luck, got suspended, and had a bad game. What was your worst move of the year, do you think?
My worst move of the year, I think it was Yeah, that's tough. I think, can it not be a trade?
Anything.
Yeah, I think my season really started to derail when I held Horn Francis for his hammy.
I think that's bad luck though, because
You
he came
reckon?
back. He should, because I held McRae and they were out for the same amount of time, same amount of weeks, and McRae came back and was fully fit. Horn Francis came back, hurt his shoulder, played forward, played through injury, finally came good, and then got injured again. You got triple injury. Like it should have been, in theory, it should have just been a 3 week hammy, come back, play well, return to the role after at least 1 or 2 weeks. I think that was bad luck. I don't know. Can
Okay.
you think of anything else?
Yeah, I'm just having a look through at my trades now, and oh, maybe not prioritizing Nas enough.
Yep.
I don't have him, and I'd love him, because he's just unbelievable to watch. And I think that's what's hurt Sinclair is they're doubling down on Nas getting the ball in Nas's hands, and that's just really affected Sinclair because
Yep.
they're just doubling down on giving it to Nas, regardless of the situation. So I think not enough priority because there were plenty of windows for him, and I just never got on it. So yeah, so that would probably be mine. Yeah, just not giving the respect to Nas that he deserved and the type of potential he had as this type of player. And he's just an absolutely unbelievable player to watch. And yeah, just didn't give enough respect to what he could do.
Yep. Yeah. For me, yeah, I think I got him in at 550. I wanted to get him in at 500 because that was the 2 weeks where like Butters and Nas were they bottomed out. I feel like I
Yeah.
had to get both, and a few things went on. Like I think Cordwell and McKercher came through, so I wanted those guys as well. So I paid a bit more for Nas later, but yeah, you could just see it's been fed. Like the ball, the amount of easy ball he was getting was just getting like it was like laughable. Like watching him play. Like another switch, another wrap around for another receive. Now he's pushing up the ground, kicking goals from 50. It's like, oh, got to get this guy ASAP. But you had to grab all of them, all these guys that bottomed out.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was at the Saints Hawks game with a couple of mates, and I was up on level 3 at Marvel just watching the game, and you'd almost think that there was 3 of him out there. He's just everywhere. Regardless of where the ball is, he would be around the contest. He would be, and Hawthorn players just didn't show any. I know Mitchell said after the game, we tried. It didn't look it from when I was watching the game. So, yeah, he's just a fantastic player. And I hope for St Kilda's sake they can keep him at the club because, yeah, there'll be a big old decision. And, yeah, an interesting thing with Supercoach, I guess, as well, you know, what type of, if Nas did go to Port, what type of, would there be any change in what he would do? My guess would be probably because I think Saints need the ball in his hands to get the ball flowing, where Port Adelaide have a lot more other options to get it going. So it'll be interesting to see on his decision. And yeah, Nas is just an unbelievable player.
yeah, I hope he stays at the same. Like I don't think he'll come to the. I've no idea, but I'd like him to just stay at the club. Just see it out.
Yeah, they've
See
suffered
how he
enough,
goes.
St Kilda.
But yeah, yeah. Although I wouldn't complain if he came to the Crows, it'd be pretty sick. But yeah, I think he's got family ties to Port. But that's for trade radio or whatever to speculate. For me, my worst move, I think the one that annoyed me was I spoke before about trading capable rookies, and I was very stubborn on those for better or for worse. I was a little bit less leeway for premiums or the 400k guys. So traded Will Ashcroft after 2 rounds, and then he went on a run of, I think the next 5 was an average of about 120. Knowing what he did with low CBAs last year when he came back from The ACL, I think his last 8 or 9 games was 107 off 30% CBAs, and that was actually gone up. That went up to I think about 40 to 60% CBA, something like that. More or less like low 50s for most weeks. And knowing if he's doing 30% CBAs and 107 there, what's he going to do with 50%? So he had a few really bad games that completely tanked his average. Like I think he scored like a 40 off a 5-day break in the heat.
Yeah.
Which tanked his average. But he's pretty much done probably 105. Maybe could have done a bit more without those cherry picking those games out. But yeah, I was careful with the rookies. Got to be a bit more careful with the players that you picked as premiums. So yeah, that's for me next year. Got to, even like the year before us, like Martin and Young gave me 2 bad scores, and I just went bang, hit the trigger, get out of my team, and both of them put 130s the next few weeks. So
yeah, I think with last year, I think we were just sort of. I think that's forgivable though, because it feels like last year we were just sort of first year of adjusting to the opening round situation. So I feel like we did. I feel like last year, I think we've all done things that we probably wouldn't usually do. So I think opening round just sort of threw off our thinking a bit and just getting used to that. I think it's been a really good year for content creators. I think you've had a sensational season. So I think we've certainly gotten used to that and adjusted to the flex very nicely.
Yep. Just on flex, one off the cuff. Do you have any idea of how you use the flex next year? Like, would you like a third ruckman there, or just whatever suits the team, whatever value can sort of fit in there?
It would. I think it would be a similar approach to this year. I think if they removed opening round, it would be a value ruck in at flex. So I think there'll be some discussion around Sean Darcy as a pick, or there'll be every year there usually seems to be a ruck at 200k or a little bit above that, 300k, that just really explodes. And this year, I know he didn't explode. Like, we probably don't rate him as a player, but Matt Flynn, we saw the price rise in that. The other one we didn't really see coming was Darcy Fort, and that was probably due to, it was definitely due to the Oscar McInerney injury. And I think Darcy Fort's is now about 400k, so and started about 170. So probably one we didn't see coming. So there'll be some guys. I think we need to see Sean Darcy at a new club to see what transpires there. So yeah, he'll be a talking point next year. So yeah, just certainly again probably looking at the value of ruckman, or we can just use it as another cash cow. I think for people that went with the 3 premium ruck setup for the flex this year, probably didn't pan out the way they would have liked, it feels. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more of value ruck, or if we decide to go big on the rucks this year, or it will be just another cash cow that we can't actually fit onto our field that we would love to field. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can definitely see myself going 2 premium rucks next year, and just like any mid-pricer, but with the ruck, the role is so clear. It's number 1 ruck. So they can't, if they're mid-price in the ruck, not much can go wrong with the role, really. So yeah, I do like that. Like potentially Briggs, Sean Darcy. Darcy makes me nervous, and then it looks like this trade period there might be a bit of ruck roulette. So if TDK does want to go to the Saints, what does that mean for Marshall? I know Brisbane want a ruck. I know there's been a bit of interest in, I think, Riley O'Brien for other clubs, Sam Draper, stuff like this. So it'll be like Draper. Oh, he won't return, will he? He hit some good form, but he'll be out for a bit longer throughout next year. So that'll be definitely one to monitor.
I think TDK as well will be in discussion once again for our starting teams next year. I think in this forward role, it does sound like they want to keep Pitternet in the side for the rest of the season. They want TDK to play more forward, and that's going to just keep dropping his average down. And the way it's going, I think he's even going to be cheaper than what he was last year. And we know St Kilda are certainly more pro solo ruck than what Michael Voss and Carlton are. Now, Michael Voss probably isn't there next year, but yeah, TDK is getting to a lower, his average is going to keep getting lower and lower and become even more interesting next year, especially at the Saints, very likely.
Yep. I think Pitney, I was looking at Pitney, he might be a bit too expensive, but he could be soloing as well.
Yeah,
who knows?
Probably, I know I've got a couple of Carlton mates who are pretty hot on Hudson O'Keefe.
Yeah.
So maybe if they give the keys to him, that could become mildly interesting.
Yep. See what happens in preseason. So this one, we'll just finish up with two quick ones. So the short answer only, please, because we've probably gone over this already.
I love this chat, George.
What is your biggest takeaway from playing SuperCoach 2025 for next season? So it can be something that you've already said. But yeah, what's your biggest takeaway from this season?
Upgrade season, looking at fixtures. So
okay,
that's a massive shout out to DFS because there's no way. It's a bit hollow up in here. So being able to have the data sort of sorted out for us, I think, has really helped my upgrades this season. So yeah, I think identifying fixtures and getting players in at the right time. So instead of grabbing that 600K guy where the scores have already happened, they've been there, you didn't have him for that run. It's that next guy who you think can do that run for a 4 to 6 week period. So, and potentially long term. So yeah, I think it's just that, just getting the upgrades done, looking at the fixtures, that sort of thing.
Yep, that's a good point. When I brought in Sarong for 570K, I didn't realize how many tags he had coming up. I just liked Sarong and I really wanted him. And fortunately, Andy got tagged for a few games, which I had Andy. But yeah, I definitely agree there. Fixture's something got to consider pretty heavily. Like, for example, when I traded in Josh Dacos, that was one where I did consider fixture because when I was looking at it randomly, start of the year, he had all red matchups, plus he had a tag game. And then for the rest of the year, he had zero red matchups for 16 weeks.
Really good.
So, and yeah, a bit lucky with the inside mid roll at the moment, but you can see, yeah, fixtures are massive. Something, yeah, I'll take away from this year as well. Biggest takeaway for me this year, while I'm saying this, think of your first pick next year. But biggest takeaway, I think just timing plays that have bottomed out, low 500s, so many of them. And as with Gorn, if they can do 120 plus and they're priced in the hundreds, just grab them. Can't gloss over them like I did with a few of them this year. Sinclair's the same. Like, he's had a rough few weeks, but that period where he was 520, he went up to like 620, I think, within the next few weeks. So the damage was already done. Your first pick for next year, anyone in mind? Can be rookies, can be premiums, whoever, mid prices.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to go pretty boring, and I do expect this player to be probably the highest owned player as we head into round one, which will be Jagger Smith. Carlton will lean more towards the youth, I presume, going forward. New coach, coming off an ACL. I think he's such a talked about option. We were identifying him before he played an AFL game as a rookie option on field. I think they'll lean more towards him, you would hope. And yeah, I think he has that massive potential to be a real Uber premium down the line. So I think he is going to be the highest owned players, and he'll be at bargain basement price as well. He'll be a lot of people's M8 in 2026 for the starting team.
Yep. I like that. He'll be, hopefully on field for us. Hopefully, recovers in time. A few others, like maybe Sid Draper, will be cheap. Maybe he can get a few games, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I like that.
As a rookie, hopefully can come good. I've got Horn Francis.
Yes.
Go back there again. So he's sort of tanked his average the last few weeks, and I assume he'll get forward status because the CBAs are actually
Yeah,
lower
I
than
think
what they were last year.
Yeah, I think he spent enough time there. I'm happy to go back down to the Horton Francis. Well, I think he'll eventually.
Yeah.
I think he'll eventually start cooking.
Yeah. The only thing is, last year he made it by like the game. I think they made finals last year, and the finals game determined like he was not in, and then he was in after that, something like that. So he needed a certain percentage in the final. So it might be really tight again. But even mid only, I think he's priced pretty cheap now. Don't mind me for 2 seconds checking his price,
No,
but priced at 94. So he's 5 points cheaper than last year. So he'll be like 510. I'd even look at it in the midfield, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't think forward status would matter that much to me. I think. I think they'll, especially with Rosie moving into defence, something we didn't anticipate heading into this season. You'd expect Horton Francis full preseason. We hope can, really just be a very interesting pick for us. He'll be cheaper than what he was this year.
Yep. Yeah, I traded him early and it's worked out, but it should not have worked out. He's been amazing. Well, he was amazing until the hamstring. Yeah. Better to be lucky than good sometimes. But anyway, that will wrap it up there. So about an hour there. So thanks for joining, Steve. Pleasure.
Thank you, George. It's an absolute pleasure. I mean, I remember wanting to start up my own channel, doing content creation. You were one of the guys I was sort of looking at, and a couple of others like DR and Spills and all that. And yeah, it just feels pretty weird just being involved into a video onto your channel. So it's an absolute pleasure, and it's been a really good chat. I've really enjoyed it. So thank you, and well done on your season. You're absolutely killing it.
Cheers, Steve. I don't want to count chickens early because we're down to one trade now, but we'll see how we go. But
sorry, I haven't jinxed you.
Welcome anytime. But yeah, whenever, if you need a guest on your channel, hit me up and we'll do some stuff, maybe in pre-season or whatnot. So it should be good. Thanks again.
Yeah, we'll set something up for sure for pre-season.
Yeah, thanks to everyone listening. I know it's that time of the year where people are sort of winding down and viewership is on the lower end of what it is earlier in the year. But I think videos like this are important, just probably for my sake at least, maybe yours as well, just to get different perspective and learn and get better at the game. Because I've been doing this 8 years, but you still look at things and you're like, I stuffed this up, what happened? And maybe if you get 1% better every year, maybe when I'm 50 years old, I'll get top 50 or something, but we'll see. slowly. But hopefully, would love to compete for a prize. That's the goal. But regardless, you need a few things to go right, not trading in Sherry for a 50 and a 3-week suspension. So hopefully with a bit of luck and good play, we can get there. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one.